bona tarda. M'agradaria saber com es presenta aquest últim partit de l'any després d'aquestes vacances al dia al Betis.
What do you think about the last game of the year going against Betis tomorrow? Good afternoon.
Pues se presenta de la misma manera que si no fuera el último día del año.
Well, it's basically the same as every other game except that it's the last game of the year.
Alejarnos un poco en la clasificación.
With the possibility to move up a little further in the table, put a little margin between us.
Un partido para nosotros, como siempre digo, atractivo y.
As I always say, it's an attractive game with a lot of motivation and 3 points in play.
Xavi Lemus de TV3. Ahir va sortir l'horari del partit de l'Atlètic de Madrid.
Yesterday, the Atletico Madrid game schedule came out, and it's at 4 o'clock again. What do you think about the schedule? Is it a joke? Is it a coincidence? It's good that kids can come see the game, but I don't know about the tickets. And is it good for the team to be playing a lot of games at this hour? No, it's not something I look at too much. It's not something I decide. We don't have any influence on that. And because of that, we just adapt, and we're going to play it for and be as competitive as possible. And it's good that kids and other fans can come at that hour and have fun in the game, but we're just going to. It doesn't make any sense to complain about any of that. We've had a lot of games at that hour this year, and actually it's something that's coming along well for us. How do you see the team after the vacation? And do you think that having played the World Cup will have any impact on injuries and the physical condition of your players? I've always said that in these types of situations, especially after seeing them train yesterday and today, everybody looks fresh, hungry, ambitious, and I don't think it could be any better. I'm not going to be extremely optimist, but I think that I see them. I think I see them on the right path at the end of the year. And we'll see if we're able to convert that into good play on the field tomorrow. I wanted to ask you about Denis Suarez. A few months ago, you were talking about whether or not he would be back here. Do you think... What do you think about that going into the rest of the year? I think I've seen him play pretty well. He played with Sevilla, but I think he could have played more there. And he looks pretty good. He's playing well. Yeah, he could be an option for us.
Hola, Silvia Ortiz, Cadena COPE. Ayer se vivió un caso rocambolesco con Sergi Guardiola, este jugador.
Yesterday there was an issue with Sergi Guardiola, who was signed by Barca, but 3 hours later his contract was rescinded because of social media. What do you think about these issues with Twitter? There are precedents for these things to happen with players who, at least one, for sure. Everybody should be conscious, everybody's conscious of everything can be traced, everything that goes out on the internet stays there, and you have to be careful, especially if you're part of the football world.
Buenas fiestas, Carlos Escolán de Radio Marca en directo. Me gustaría preguntar, ya sé que queda un partido para acabar el 2015, pero me gustaría
I know that there's one game left in 2015, but if you could evaluate the year so far, the season so far, I prefer to look at these things and talk about the balance of the season at the end of the year, because other than the titles that we've won already so far this season, to evaluate how things are going for us, we have to wait until May, until the League and the Copa del Rey, until all the competitions are over, if I'm going to properly evaluate the team. Tomorrow the team can score 179 goals, which would be a record for the team. The victory would be good, but what about this goal-scoring milestone as far as the history of the team is concerned? Those are stats that are there that could be used to motivate the player, but I think that the bigger motivation is in winning. If by scoring 3 goals, we have a better chance of winning the game, that's better. We have it'll give us 3 points to play our game and keep the other team at bay. If we get the record, that's better, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking to get the 3 points and do it out on the field and stay in first place. Let me insist a little bit on this issue of Sergio Guardiola. Do you think that the club did the right thing by rescinding his contract, or do you think that there are things that they can forget about because of the age of the player? I will go with what I said when I answered the last question about that.
Se viene de 2 empates en Liga.
You're coming off of 2 draws in the league. Not a lot of margin for error in order to stay in first place in the table. Is tomorrow's game of special importance for those reasons? What about the players? The players know perfectly how important the game is tomorrow. But looking at the other games that we played, we won. We looked pretty good. The ties were in the league game against Valencia because of things that happened, and against Deportivo the last 15 minutes. We relaxed a little bit too much and we committed some mistakes. But our goal is going to be the same, and we're going to try and make sure that things that happened in either Valencia or Deportivo, or even the things that happened in the World Cup, shouldn't influence us tomorrow. We need to get 3 points, and that's what we want. Add points.
Hola, mister. Javier Giraldo del Sport. Me gustaría preguntarte cómo crees que va a responder el equipo desde un punto de vista físico.
I wanted to ask you about how you see the team physically with 5 months left in the season. It seems like this year you've already had a few difficulties with injuries. Is this something that worries you? No, more than worrying me, it's something that I think about. I think that we're in good condition like last year. We're getting a couple players back, which could be good for the team. They do have to adapt after not playing for the last 6 months, but each case is special. Some players have played, some others not. Some others have played more minutes, others less. There are a lot of different cases to look at and a lot of decisions to make. And I look at all these things with tranquility, but looking at making decisions that are best for the team. But my feeling is that we're doing better than last year. Specifically asking about Arda Turan and Aleix Vidal, who are very close to getting their first minutes with the team. How do you see those 2 players? Do you think that they're a little nervous or anxious for having gone so much time without playing? Well, I don't know exactly how to describe how they feel, but I know that they are really hungry to help the team on the field. They've been doing it off the field, taking part in forming part of the group in the dynamic in the dressing room. They've been very well accepted by the team ever since the beginning, and the only thing that's left is for them to enjoy along with the team and contribute their play out on the field. These are not typical situations that have occurred over the last 6 months with these 2 players. And I think that they're going to have a lot of fun and they're going to help us. And also talking about some of the players in the B team who haven't played, and they've and I hope that that they can also play and have fun as well.
John Domènech del periódico. ¿A qué achacas o qué virtud principal le atribuyes o le ves al Betis por el hecho de que haya ganado la mitad de los partidos?
What virtues would you bestow upon Betis for only having lost twice in 8 league games away from home?
Cuando debería ser todo lo contrario, simplemente por por el apoyo de tu afición y por jugar
Well,
en tu estadio, pero
in theory, you should be playing better at home than away because of the support of the fans, but it seems that for them it's been the opposite. I think that it's, you know, they've done it based on merit. They have players who can create important mismatches out on the field. Molina and Ruben Castro are two guys that are good at getting to the goal. They can play both up and down the field. They're a physical team. And I think that they're also good at being able to take on their opponent's attacks. And here they come into Camp Nou. We know that that they're capable of creating pressure on us. And, you know, it's always been it's difficult to beat them. We don't expect anything different heading into tomorrow's game.
Ara que s'acaba el 2015 ha estat un any ple de...
Now that 2015 is over, a season full of success, of victories and titles. Do you think that for you personally, this is a moment where you have a bit of euphoria? No. For me, no. The year begins in July and ends in June. For me, I'm halfway through the year, halfway through the football season, happy for everything that's happened, but that's in the past. It doesn't matter now. It's important, you know, in the future when you look back with friends and family, you look back to remember the things that we achieved. But you know, I'm in the present, worried about the immediate future, and those are our objectives this year, to be deserving of winning titles.
Se contemplan entradas para el mercado de invierno, ya se ha dicho alguna vez, se estudia el mercado.
Are there
salidas de la primera plantilla?
Thoughts about not just bringing players in the transfer window, but players leaving in the transfer window? Sure, we contemplate those situations. Yeah, it's possible that players leave, but it's also going to be based on whether or not we think we can reinforce the team. We're looking at everything. The transfer window still hasn't opened. We have to wait. But you always have to think about ways to improve the team. And not just whether players can come in, but if there could be players that are leaving. One of the local newspapers had a headline that Real Madrid president Florentino Perez keeps insisting on this issue of bringing Neymar to Madrid. Can you comment on that? I think that they just those are just parts of the typical football rumor mill. Tomorrow at 10:30 a.m., the squad list for tomorrow's match. That's it for Enrique's press conference ahead of tomorrow's match against Betis at Camp Nou. Have a nice day.